Hey everyone, good evening and good morning. So I have overall 15 years of experience, different domains, including healthcare, automotive, financial, and government services of United States of America. I started my career in 2009 in Bangalore, a company called Infinite Computer Solutions. I worked for them almost 10 years with the healthcare domain for different states, a Medicaid program in United States. I moved to United States with the same project for the product after production support, and then I worked for the different client profile, like including top like JP Morgan Chase. Also, I worked for Air for AT&T in telecom domain, and then American Honda, where most of my career has been changed my path and thinking ideas, technology stuff, whatnot. That's the major change in my career. Currently, I was working for Social Security Administration, which is a federal government project where most of the seniors will avail those benefits. We will support the tech stack application for the federal government. So this is pretty much about me. So to just go through high level, this is what my 15 years journey. I have been with the Infinite Computer Solutions. I was working with the tech stack mostly into JSF, Hibernate, and EJBase, and then Honda Motors America, where the complete lifestyle of my tech stack has been changed from I can say I started my career as completely new. Basically, I moved from very basic Java to advanced like Spring Boot, Spring Batch, React JS, whatnot. I mean, cloud, AWS. I started working even big data. Basically, it was an individual contributor project, so I had a lot of things to learn over there. And then I worked for JPMorgan Chase, where a lot of financial domain knowledge has been gained, and technical skills also have improved more about the cyber security, how the security is important in any web application these days. And currently, as I mentioned, I'm working for the social security. Here also, I was working on the login module. We are kind of integrating, the third parties tools to log in into the social security system, like id.me, login.go, and also, we are integrating with Experian kind of third party tools into their security integration systems. That's pretty much what I my experience talks. I'll just go through next couple of slides quickly so that we don't spend much of time here. So as I mentioned, these are the tech stacks I have been for up to 2018, and then 2019 and present I was working towards AI, microservices, OpenShift, Kubernetes. I was learning even Python and other tech stacks. I started recently no code, generative AI kind of things. Probably we can talk at the end what I was currently learning myself towards the AI part. And so few things which I want to talk about when you are in what I was feeling my in my college levels. Like I feel like grades is the most important thing rather than learning something or building myself some projects, whatnot. I mean, so I was focusing only on the grades. Later I realized when I was in the final year, I started a project called face recognition with the MATLAB. That time itself, I mean, early 2007, Lenovo computers has been just introduced with the face recognition login system rather than passwords. That's the project I have done in 2007. I feel proud these days. Okay, I was doing great that time, but from there I didn't move towards innovation of my side. But we'll talk about more in the our podcast continues. I think we're going to talk about most of these things when we talk about. We can share, and what were question you asked, when I can share the these things. Probably if you want, you can attach this screenshots in your video signing. I mean, what technologies people are more interested, or in students can learn those kind of things. They can go through this link as well. So where is changing all of this has been pretty much important to get into interesting things about what is important for the students, or how it helps you grow as a techie in future of your things. So probably this is the last slide where we can talk about this. Yeah, go ahead, Saini. I mean, this is what about me and what I have done last couple of years. Now we can talk about whatever questions you have about it.
Right, sir. So firstly, could you describe a little bit about your job as to what you do on a day-to-day basis? Just a little bit, if you can.
Sure. Currently, there are a few things I was working in these days, couple of months after Trump administration came in. We wanted to support the Social Security Administration 24/7, so that we were working on a production deployment for next month, where the application, has to be available 24/7. So for that, we are doing some automation part where applications will auto deploy, or any major crisis happens, send an email report to the critical resources where they can look up and fix the bugs or whatever the immediate availability. Because as of now we don't have any call center support or kind of thing, so we try to engage a couple of people, and we're going to trigger emails them like there is a crash or there is issues about in the system. And apart from that, we are building a third parties, right? Like as I mentioned, id.me or login.gov is the kind of third party websites like Google. When you go to any website in these days, right, if you want to log in, you don't need to create your login. You can just use like Facebook, LinkedIn, or Google, right, to log in into any website. Same way, id.me is the government verified website where you register with your license, SSN, or other details. Those are the two top um, tech companies who are making login mechanism very simple. Once you register with them, wherever you go, you just say I can do with login.me. Into currently, I think all the DMV, which is motor, where basically DMV is the place where licenses will be issued to the people of United States. So they already adapted, and we are adapting into social security as well. So basically, I'm a full stack developer, starting from putting JavaScript files with the React backend, with the Springboard, cyber security, using a couple of things, Spring security, and apart from that, AWS cloud, we have some message notifications. AWS cloud also we are using.
Right. Um, so in your presentation, you mentioned the best way, there was a quote that said, the best way to stay ahead is to stay curious. As a developer working in the field, what are some tools that you use to stay up to date about upcoming technologies and developing technologies?
Okay, so basically, I feel it as my personal mantra. I mean, even I can suggest everybody, adapt that to not only about the technology. Let's say if you want to learn anything, right? When you are curious about the things, then only you will, learn about or focus on that to gain more knowledge about it, right? So basically, even let's say you are interested about any sport like cricket or tennis or something, if you are curious about that, then you definitely look at that part. What inspires you from that? Anything can inspire you if you take positivity from any kind of thing, including sports, right? I mean, let's just say there are some legends where how they put their efforts to, let's say when you talk about Kohli, right? When his father is died, even he was playing a test match. That's the inspiration, like the commitment towards your work. That talks about your curiosity, right? I mean, he was more curious about his career choices. That's where he has more moderate to high level professional, where he reached to that level. So not only that, right, the real trick is how and why this thing. When you talk about anything like let's say why AI is required, how AI is required in my life. So when you think that way, you will learn about that. So just to give an example, I know about CA from quite a long time, probably I say 5 or 6 years, but I never deep dive into that. But these days I started learning. I'm pursuing some course about LLMs and postgraduate course. So that's where I started thinking about Last 2 weeks I know something about no code AI. We can talk about when we are talking about, I think, in next level, how why you need to learn these kind of things. So I experimented posting, social post automation. Like, probably, I was working to post technical articles in a LinkedIn automation. Rather than I wrote everything, I'll tell the NN8 to write an article about cybersecurity and post in my LinkedIn post. So I have almost done. I need to schedule it and do it. That's one example. When you're curious about it, you will learn it. So I can say, you wanted to achieve something, be curious about that. Curiosity makes up to date in anything. It can be a technology, it can be anything. Even let's say you are a food lover, when you go for any restaurant, when you want to order something, you have to be curiosity about that food and how it is going to, like, then only you can go and experiment, right? If you don't have curiosity and if you just go to the restaurant and you'll just say, okay, just give me a plate of idli or just whatever it is. But if you're a food lover, then you will go and explore the menu, and then you start thinking about, okay, this is what I wanted to try. So that's why I'll talk more about that's what I'll say. It's a personal mantra of mine, but I'll suggest everyone, every student, to be make it as curious things about the things, so that they can up to date on any technology. And coming to, and you talking about how we will be up to date on the things, right? So most of the times I will follow my LinkedIn. There are a lot of things like Byte Go, and there are things about, I'll say, look out the research papers, and there are many YouTube channels these days, right? Even in the regional languages. Let's say if you are not up to mark in your English skills, there are even many regional skills, regional. And Udemy is a place for the courses which is affordable. And there are a lot of different types of styles of the people. So I'll follow a couple of people. Like, there is a YouTube channel, Telsuko. He puts everything up to date, including AI, Java text. As a Java developer, I'll follow him very much closely. He puts including Python, cybersecurity, everything. There is one more guy called Ranga Karnam in the Udemy. He puts up to date any course like generative AI and the Google, AWS, whatnot. So I'll say, subscribe to all the newsletters like ARXIV, where you will find a lot of research papers. Let's say some people are interested towards PhD or masters. If they want to know about some topics, I can suggest ARXIV is the page where you can go and look up a lot of research papers. Apart from that, I'll suggest to have some hands-on as well. Don't just learn the theoretical, go and practice. There are many platforms. You don't need to have, see, in my days, if you want to practice something, coding or something, you need a high-end laptops and all. These days you don't need anything. There are ready-made cloud labs, like clouds, where they are all ex-Amazons and Microsoft people. They build the labs. Let's say you enroll any course, you don't need to have your personal computer with the high-end tech, big stack. You just need a browser where you can practice, like including Linux and cloud, everything. Even there are other tools, like even there are many browser based plugins or IDEs also there to practice. You don't need to install anything. So I'll always suggest to have a practice. And lead code and hackathon challenges also, I'll say, follow it. And one basic thing to you remember in your college days, right? I mean, I'll not say for everyone, but at least for my end, I didn't concentrate much on most of the times on the data structures and algorithm. When you go for C++, you are learning whatever, right? You have a
Yes.
quicksand, bubbles, a lot of things. We will just learn and just go and do the lab programs, right? But we never think about why this is needed, how it is needed. But after 10 years of my career, I understood that that's where the root, you have to learn all about the data structures. Without that, no programming language can survive. Whether it can be a Java, it can be a Python, it can be anything else. You need data structures and algorithms. If you understand that, you can build your own startup, I can say. if you are 100% perfect in data structure and algorithms, you can start your own even startup. If you don't know anything, you will be stuck in somewhere like, very basic concepts. You will be a normal Java techie or normal Python developer. But if you are very good at the fundamentals and data structures and algorithms, that's where everything is reliant. Any product based company, they will always look for the data structures and algorithm. They never care about the language what you wrote. You can write in SQL, you can write in Python, you can write in HTML. They don't care, but they will just give a problem which has to be solved on the data structures algorithm, like big O, whatnot. I mean, whatever algorithms, right? I'll say you have to be update on the data structures and algorithms and practice as much as in the hackathon or lead code is the place. Many people will solve the problems, and most of the interviews comes questions similar to the lead code.
Right.
That's pretty much. If you need any extension of anything you wanted to on the same question, we can talk about it.
Yeah, actually, I wanted to talk about mentioned that you started learning about generative AI recently. So can you talk
Mhm.
about if there was a specific roadmap you used or the process you used to start learning generative AI?
So actually, I initially, as I mentioned, I subscribed to one of the courses in the Udemy, and I just experimenting some things, and then I started. It felt me more interesting to learn LLMs. Then I subscribed to the course for post graduation. I'm still learning a lot of things around that, but I'll always suggest to go ahead and learn about LLMs first, and then also these days, last couple of months, there are a lot of no code tools are becoming so popular. One example is NN8, which you can host yourself, like automation of the process. Let's say you want to send some notifications, like you have a small business and you want to, somebody has been reached on offline, you can send an automated messages on Telegram, WhatsApp, or emails. Even you can build a simple customer care service responses to your system. So these can be hosted yourself. No need, you no need to have any coding language. You just need to go drag and drop. You just need the integration tools. As I mentioned, I just tried myself, posting a LinkedIn article. I tried both of them. Make.com is the one I tried, which is very easy to connect LinkedIn. But I think NN8 has little issues with, because on July there is a small change on OAuth integration from the LinkedIn side. So NN8 is not that great for now, at least the LinkedIn. I think there is some catch need to be fixed. But make.com, I experimented, worked very well. And I'm also planning to, I usually organize a tennis tournament here. I wanted to automate the scoring system and everything. So I'm working towards on that part. And the one I gave you, the link, right, for about me, there is something
Right.
called Netlify. You can host any website for free, the static content. So if you want to build your resume or about you or something, you can use that one also. That's a simple kind of, you can use any generative AI tools or chat GPT, Cloudy, Perplexity, whatnot, right? But I'll suggest, rather than generating code using chat GPTs or anything, prefer to write your own code. Take any IntelliJ or Eclipse, right? Start building small pages, and start building simple Python code. Write a program to just read the APIs from the Twitter and do the sentiment analysis. Let's say there is an IPL happening in India. How was the mood of the people? There is
Right.
something similar happening on the same time. Let's say elections happening. What people is trying to concentrate, whether the IPL or election or something else. Those kind of sentiments based on the hashtags people will tag, right? I mean, what they are talking about. You can do those kind of sentiment analysis, integrating these kind of tools and post it. Even you can try something generating a reports using the generative AIs, like some small reports like weather prediction app kind of stuff. You can do that.
Right. So, do you have any more small projects like these that students can do before they graduate to widen their skill set?
Yeah. So to start with, right, build a small, resume analyzer or a weather forecasting app. The small start with the small, use Python or any, and do small search engine kind of thing, like build 100 different file search. Or there is something called SQL PDL, where you can create, at least 1 million records of data and do the optimization, query optimization kind of thing. So I'll say be ready as a full stack. Don't concentrate on just one tech stack. And it doesn't mean that you need to learn everything, but there is always, you need to have a full stack, like one tool on the back end. It can be a Java, Python, or anything. And then database side, at least very basics on the NoSQL and DBBMS. And front end, there are a lot of things came in recently. There are micro front ends also. I mean, like similar to microservice. If you know about the microservices, there is something called micro front ends, also React JS, and everything can be fit into that part. So I'll always suggest build an entire end-to-end app, maybe just a registration app, just integrate with the Google, where you can integrate your OAuth also, which includes security of the application, and deploy to cloud. You choose any cloud. It can be AWS or Azure or anything is fine. So when you build end-to-end app, right, you already covered front end with the React, or you preferred Angular, anything. If you know the TypeScript, it doesn't matter. It can be a extended JS, React JS, Angular, it doesn't matter. If you know the TypeScript, you are good. So any JavaScript library can fit into TypeScript. And then backend, you can use Spring, which is built on top of the Java, or you can use even Python. um, or you can, on the backend side, if you use Spring Boot, there is something called H2 database, which is inbuilt. You don't need any license. If it is a small project, you can do H2 database. Or if you want to integrate external database, you can use Postgres as well. So I'll always suggest maintain a GitHub of whatever you are doing. Keep track of what you are doing, so that it is your future, and it showcase you what you have been learning all these days. And also, I'll say, take a problem from the lead code, present different types of data structure algorithms, put a solutions in your GitHub. That is also another best practice, I can say.
Right. So, as you said, I think you said, like, you have known about AI for 5, 6 years, right? And AI
Mhm.
has been more commercially available since the past only 2, 3 years, I think. So,
Mhm.
uh, being in the industry, you see these changes happening before they happen. So, are there any more technologies, AI related, or aside from AI too, that you see changing the industry over the next 5 years?
So two things here to talk about. First is domain. When you talk about domain, right, so healthcare domain is never going to die. And
Right,
another part is cloud can be adapted to anything. These two things, domain wise, I'll say, to be up to date, understand how things are changing. And yeah, apart from the AI, data is the big part. Everywhere everybody is talking about data. Way back, maybe, let's say 2015 or 16, we didn't had these many social platforms, right? I mean, probably it has a minimum usage, like maybe the Instagram. There are many other things came, TikTok and all this came these days popular, right? But these days, all these videos and all not only that feed, everything, whatever you post, everything is a data, including your bank transactions. Let's say way back in 2010, we don't have a UPI, right? Now we have a UPI. Most of the people in India uses UPI transactions. So that data will be collected, and how people are spending, where they're spending. That's data collection, right? When they go through millions of the transaction, they figure it out, analyzing that data, where the people are spending, how they are spending. So data is a very big part these days. Apart from the cloud, generative is going to be rule the world for sure. But I'll say it's not going to stop you learning anything. Let's say Java, people will say it's going to die, but it's never going to die. Python is way back was not popular. These days Python became so popular and everybody is trying to adapt Python. And coming to Java, right? So Java is way back, it's not handling functional programming. These days it's supporting even functional program. Inside Java you can write JavaScript, inside Java you can write Python, whatever, whatnot. So always I'll suggest have at least target on one language, either it can be Java or Python for now, and then you can always ready to adapt any technology. That Java is never gonna die for sure. So that's what my intention for sure, because anywhere you go, any enterprise architecture, Java is the key default. But
Yeah,
.NET also is there, but Java is still ruling the tech stack. And Python, definitely you had to be in that. It can be a AI or it can be a cloud or anything. If you have a Python skill, it's gonna benefit you anywhere writing any kind of script, including deployment scripts, or you can build even UI like Dojo and these kind of things. Those are UI framework from the Python. You can write any kind of things.
right. So moving a little bit aside from the tech side of things, I want to talk about some soft skills. So when you're working
Mhm.
in teams or even hiring someone to work for you, what are some skills
Mhm.
that are a must-have, and some skills that like talking about the soft skills here, what are some things that if you notice in a person, you wouldn't necessarily want to work in a team with them?
Okay. So there are few things in the IT world, right? Some place you have to work always as a team. Some place you have to be work as an independent contributor, or individual contributor.
Right,
So again, when I say, when you talk about how I hire the people or my team look, when I was into the interview panel, I'll always look again, how curious about technology that person. Again, the curiosity makes very important in human life. As I mentioned, it's not only about the tech. If he is curious about the something, definitely he will learn it. That is one motto I'll consider. Um, second part, I don't care about how strong he is in that current technology, because technology changes overnight. Let's say you are very good at Java and you don't know how to adapt cloud, and then you need to change, next few weeks to different tech stack like Python or .NET or something. It's not like one company can have only one project, right? They have multiple projects and it keep changing the clients, right? I mean, maybe overall team is not performing, that project can go to a different company, and then you get a different tech stack project. You have to ready to accept. So I'll say, rather than strong on one particular, I'll not say that that's a disadvantage, but my motto is, when people ready to learn, challenge their self any technology, that's where I concentrate on people who is fit into my team. Just having one skill set very strong will not work out, for at least from my end or my team perspective, when I choose the people. And sometimes even I don't care about their communication. If he's a team player, you know and I definitely consider. And again, I look at the attitude also. So when you are a team, you have to compromise some things. You need to ready to share your knowledge. You need to bring down our ego to, I mean, ego will never work as a team. You feel that when you know everything, and it need not to be know everything by everyone, right? I mean, some people might be strong on the back end, some people is on front end, some people have both knowledge skill set. The success will come as a team. Let's say if something has to be carried by ants, one ant cannot carry even a small piece of food, right? When 10 ants comes, a small chocolate they can take away from us, I mean, our place. But one ant cannot take out the chocolate or whatever small bit of piece. So I'll say team success depends on every person in the team. One bad example or one bad experiment from one person can ruin team spirit, where the delivery impacts a huge. So I'll always look for how eager he is learning the skill set, how good he is, how communicative he is, how attention he is, and responsibility is the key. When you don't take it as a responsible, you can't deliver anything. You'll say, okay, I have a job, I'll come at 8 o'clock, I'll leave at 5 o'clock. I will not say that you compromise your personal life, but that 8 to 5 hours also, how commitment you are showing towards your work is important. Just coming, writing what you have gave, let's say I have give a small task, you completed, and you don't care about what others are doing in the team, and you will go for a chai and come back, and you'll just leaving for the day. That will not work out. If you completed, just try to talk to the people and see as a team how you are performing. Definitely there will be a teammates thing happening, there will be a problems for other people, try to help them. That's where I'll concentrate on people's attitude as well.
Right. So just one final question now, sir. Would you have
Mhm.
any advice for the students who want to pursue a PhD or master's?
Again, it depends on how you want to choose your career path. Do you want to go a research side? Do you want to leaning towards something very important, like you something innovation or something you wanted to do? Definitely I'll advise to choose the PhD. And right, at least a minimum 3 to 4 years of 100% of your commitment should be there to complete your PhD.
Right.
And you need to learn a lot of things around that. You not only the technology skills, your personality and a lot of things will be developed around over here. Okay, so apart from the PhD, even you can consider masters to just become perfect towards the technology wise. There are many courses around AI or any tech stack, right? Even artificial, not only artificial, any tech stack like data science or whatnot. I mean, there are many things there to get perfection towards technology. If it is motive to be perfect or very strong on the things, I'll suggest masters. But you are something kind of, you wanted to do some innovation, or you want to be, I mean, other side of the tech stack people, definitely PhD is suggested, but you need a complete dedication towards to that.
Right. So thank you very much for your time, sir. It was wonderful talking to you, and it was wonderful having you on this podcast. Thank you so much.